Today we're talking BYU wide receiver Puka Nacua. We're going to dive into his background and college career, discuss the positives and negatives in his prospect profile, and take a look at his dynasty outlook and if and where you should target him in your rookie drafts. Puka Nacua is a wide receiver out of BYU. He's a senior, he's 21 years old, and he's listed at 6'2", 201 pounds. Puka Nacua is part of a family of footballers. His brother Kai was undrafted in 2017, but he spent time as a safety for 6 different NFL teams. And his brother Samson spent the summer with the Colts as an undrafted wide receiver in 2022. And Puka started in both football and basketball at Orem High School in Utah. He finished his tenure by scoring a touchdown in every game during his senior season. He wound up scoring 26 times while hauling in 103 receptions for 2,336 yards. For his career, Puka Nacua set the state record in receptions with 260, receiving yards 5,226, and receiving touchdowns 58. It was enough to rank as a 4-star prospect and the #1 player in the state of Utah in the 2019 recruiting class. Nacua chose to sign with the University of Washington over offers from USC, Oregon, BYU, UCLA, and others. He played 2 seasons with the Huskies, totaling just 319 yards and 3 touchdowns on 16 receptions. After the 2020 season, Puka Nacua joined his brother Samson at BYU, where he found far more success. In 12 games during his junior season, Puka Nacua caught 43 passes for 805 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns. He added an element on the ground as well, taking 14 rush attempts for 148 yards. Despite missing 3 games with injury, Puka Nacua led the Cougars with 625 receiving yards in 2022 on the back of 48 receptions. He added 209 rushing yards on 25 carries. Puka Nacua scored 5 touchdowns as a receiver and 5 touchdowns as a rusher. But let's talk about the positives, the things that we like in Puka Nacua's profile. The first is he is a contested catch savant. He plays physical. He's got good speed, he's a threat to win vertically, and he amassed 357 career rushing yards and 5 rushing touchdowns on 39 attempts. We really pay attention to these wide receivers who produce in the run game. It indicates to us that the coaching staff has identified that player as one of the team's best playmakers, and they want to get him more opportunities to touch the ball and make plays. On the negative side, Puka Nacua is not that great of a route runner. He's also not a great separator. His release tactics surely need some refinement. He's not an early declare. Historical trends favor wide receivers who come out early in terms of probability of breaking out in the NFL. Puka Nacua does not check that box. We talked about that he has some speed, but it does take him a little bit of time to get up to speed. His acceleration is not great. He lacks a little bit of explosion, and he had a 23% dominator rating, not counting the games that he missed in 2022. Dominator rating measures how much of the passing offense the wide receiver accounted for. It's one of the biggest indicators of breaking out at the NFL level. 30% is the baseline of good. Puka Nacua's 23% falls well short. For archetype, Puka Nacua is a red zone threat, so while he's not the greatest route runner or separator, his size and contested catch ability will make him a guy that teams want to use down in the red zone. My NFL comp for him is Alec Pierce. Pierce is kind of in that same mold. He's not a great route runner, he's not a great separator, but he does make plays down the field. Throw him up a one-on-one 50-50 ball, I like his chances. We could say the same about Puka Nacua. I expect Nacua to come off the board in the middle rounds, probably in the 5th round of the NFL draft, and his yards performance center grade comes out at 22.8, which is in the 32nd percentile, ranking as the 662nd wide receiver of all time between Isaiah Coulter from the class of 2020 and Noah Brown of 2017. The bottom line is, Puka Nacua is a big, physical outside wide receiver. He's not the best route runner, separator, or particularly explosive off the line. Instead, he uses his big frame, strength, and ability to outleap defenders to create a target for his quarterback and dominate in contested situations. His route tree consists mostly of vertical patterns that allow him to play to his strengths. He looks a bit stiff when he runs, but that didn't stop him from gaining over 300 yards on the ground during his 2 seasons at BYU. But rather than leaning on agility and quickness, Puka Nacua uses his physicality to eat up yards on rush attempts and run after the catch opportunities. In the NFL, Puka Nacua projects as an outside receiver who will play both the Z and the X positions. His speed and toughness could make him a candidate to play on kick coverage units early in his career while he develops his route running and release tactics.